Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the final game of this regular season. Well, I guess it's the postseason, Josh, but final game before Nationals for both Santa Barbara and Cal. We've got some Division I WCLL action to decide your WCLL champion. I'm Chris Nesport here with Josh Chen, and it's going to be an absolute beast of a game today between the Golden Bears from Berkeley and the Gauchos from UCSB.
Chris, I'm really excited for this one. It's sunny Los Gatos High School, the setting for this game between these two WCLL rivals. Blue blood programs once again. I'm really excited for this matchup, a rematch of an earlier match this season that the Gauchos won 10-7. Excited to see how these teams play today and how this one shakes out.
Absolutely, and earlier this year, as you mentioned, these teams met in February, which feels like a season ago. We're here in April, pushing May, pushing postseason. Both these teams much different teams than what you saw before. Last time they met, Santa Barbara did get the better of Cal 10-7, and I was able to talk with both Coach Webster and Coach Allen about that matchup. Here's some thoughts from both of them. On Coach Webster's side, he reiterated that was a different season. They've matured so much since then. They're a different offense, and we saw that yesterday. The Cal offense really helped out by a group of freshmen who, when you're a freshman playing in February, is massively different than a freshman playing in April.
Absolutely.
For Santa Barbara, last time these two teams met, Coach Allen said, hey, we didn't have a face-off guy last time, so we really had to throw out a poll and try and mix things up against the dominance of Hale Brown for the Bears. This time, maybe a little bit different. They feel like they have their face-off guy, and they really want to make it more of a contest there and just maintain the pace that they had yesterday. To that note, both teams 18 goals in yesterday's semifinal action, so these offenses are humming, and look for a fast start again from both Cal and Santa Barbara.
Absolutely, Chris. Yeah, I think 18 goals for both of these teams yesterday. Obviously, offense is playing a big part in this matchup. Do want to highlight, once again, I said it earlier for the D2 championship, offense wins games, defense wins championships. So excited to see which of these two defensive units can really buckle down here and slow down the other team.
Yeah, and an interesting matchup here. I mean, these two teams are no strangers to each other. Obviously, within the same conference, they've played each other last year in this same exact game with Santa Barbara getting the upper hand there. But not only are the teams familiar with each other, the coaches as well. Coach Webster and Coach Allen, childhood friends, played lacrosse together, coached by their parents. They maintain that friendship and mutual respect today. So while they do have a history of friendship, they are adversaries today.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I think Coach Webster and Coach Allen are both very happy for each other's success, except for when the two teams match up like they are today.
A couple, as players are getting introduced here, let's talk through some of the results from yesterday. It was both teams very different games. Santa Barbara coasting to their victory over Sonoma. At one point, I think they were up 17-1, able to maybe rest some of their starters. They may have some fresher legs today, while the Bears, they kind of have to stave off a rally from the Cal Poly Mustangs, ending up winning 18-15, but it was a hotly contested game throughout. A couple players on each side that stood out to me, and you could chime in as well. I think for the Bears, it all starts, and it's going to start today with freshman faceoff man Hale Brown out of Bedford, New York. He was dominant at the faceoff X yesterday, and he will look to continue that today. The Bears also led by number 6, Nate Fredericks, another freshman from Oakland. He had 4 goals, 2 assists yesterday. And another top point scorer was another freshman, Luke Dumont, or Dumo, you might hear us call him. 2 goals, 3 assists. We'd have to also mention Lucas Baer. He had 4 goals yesterday. He is wearing number 50 today, not his familiar number 7. On the Santa Barbara end, they were anchored by just an amazing game by 15 Connor Udolph at attack there. I have him down for 5 goals and 4 assists. So 9 points, outstanding in any game, let alone a playoff semifinal. Another top point getter there is another freshman, Ethan Chesney, for the Gauchos. I have him for 6 and 2. And so, there's no shortage of goal scorers on the field today, and it's really interesting to see freshmen being many of the players that I'm highlighting.
Absolutely, Chris. A lot of young talent on both of these teams. A lot of young talent stepping up. I'd love to see, for example, even in those stats, right, freshmen doing things that they don't normally do in the season. Hale Brown, for example, putting in a goal. It's only his 2nd goal of the season. It scored in a big moment yesterday to quell some momentum from a Cal Poly run. At the same time, on the Santa Barbara side, Chesney, you highlighted, he scored 6 goals and 2 assists. Yet the entire season he only had 16 goals, and so really to step up, he basically, took almost an entire third of his production and scored it all in one game, and that's stepping up in big moments when it matters the most. Really excited to see how these teams do. I do want to highlight 2 additional players, and I think they're both leaders on each of these teams. For the Bears, I'll highlight number 4, Ethan Pavlet. He's a senior captain. He's been with the program for a long time, and he's anchoring the defense there.
Are we sure he's a midfielder, or is he a goalie? Pavlet with a big save yesterday.
Yeah, both he and Endicott played.
Oh, that was Endicott.
Yeah,
my fault.
No worries. No, Pavlet plays pole. He's number 4. He's wearing that special number 4 that Berkeley has. I'll also highlight number 19 for Santa Barbara. 19 is basically Santa Barbara's version of the Cal number 4. It's a special player awarded number every single year, and Trey Cochler is wearing that one. He had a big game yesterday too.
Face-off won by the Bears, but I think that played exactly how Santa Barbara was hoping, trying to make it a little bit dirty for Hale. He comes up with the ground ball in the face-off win. And Cal, interestingly enough, had 3 shorties on the face-off. Typically, you see the face-off man, a shorty wing, and an LSM. So putting faith in Brown to win it forward, or at least to himself, or securing the ball for the Bears, and he does. That's Isaac Jarrow with the ball. You'll see his dodge down the alley. This is exactly how he started his game yesterday. That time missing wide, but a great take from Jarrow early. Looks like he caught a check and is feeling it a little bit, maybe in his belly or maybe a little lower than his belly. But Jarrow's still out there with the ball right now. Makes his way to Bagwell to Fredericks. Fredericks, the freshman phenom.
This is going to be a great matchup to watch. Fredericks versus McGrath here. This is going to be a matchup that we're going to have our eye on all day. It's strength against strength.
The best part about that matchup is they are both freshmen. McGrath starting his game yesterday with a sick over-the-head check, starting his game today with a pass disruption caused turnover. McGrath, a second-team WCLL defender. Fredericks, a first-team WCLL attackman. Both guys in their first year of eligibility. They have dates with each other for many years to come. Santa Barbara settles into their first offensive possession. Their midfield of Griffin, Dwelly, and Cochler. There's your line 1 middies as Herschel Griffin takes a run down the left side. Good show there by the defender, Parker Scott, for the Bears as he gets back to his matchup. Parker Scott had a big matchup yesterday with Ryan Sanders from Cal Poly. He has a bigger matchup today with Lucas Menendez out of Santa Barbara. Menendez, a first-team attacker. He was the Offensive Player of the Year last year with the ball at the moment, working up to Dwelly. Cochler now going to have a go. But that matchup, 52 in yellow, 13 in white, that's the one to watch on this end of the field. As a shot scores for Cochler. Great pressure there from the defender. That was Dumont drawing the responsibility of defending Cochler. Dumont maybe caught on defense. Cochler taking advantage. I thought Dumont was in a decent spot right there, and Cochler just bounced off pressure and somehow sneaks it past Cody Weave and Cage for the Bears. Low angle, near side. Great way to start if you're the Gauchos.
Yeah, great shot right there by Cochler. He makes a good move. Dumont, I think I agree with you, played good defense there and sort of took away his angle. But Cochler able to finish that low angle shot and sneak it right past Weeb.
Another face-off well played by the Gauchos. They won the clamp, got the rake out there, but the ball is going to come up in the stick of Hale Brown. Good job dishing it to space, and a heady release there by the Gauchos. They did call release, so Alex West smartly goes up to support on the ground ball and gets possession for the Gauchos. Clearing now in the stick of Zane Schwab. We got a failure to advance. As I mentioned, Santa Barbara had briefly picked up the ball, and we're going to have a delay of game called against Schwab of the Gauchos.
Wow.
Does he have to serve time?
He might have to.
He does have to serve time. That is the starting goalie for the Gauchos, called for a delay of game, rolling the ball up the field. Maybe a little ticky-tacky if you're a Gaucho fan, but the Bears will not complain as they'll settle in for a man-up opportunity here with their second offensive possession and a fresh goalie, right? He's probably warmed up with the team, but probably not as much as Schwab. That's Josh Glassman in cage. Thankfully, Glassman saw a lot of time yesterday against Sonoma after Schwab threw his stick and got a penalty there too. But Glassman up to the task. You know, he denied most of the efforts. I had him down for at least 8 saves yesterday. So not your typical backup in Glassman. Tough spot to come in. Man-up opportunity for the Bears.
Yeah, this man-up unit's been very good. And sort of deja vu situation. Glassman again coming in off of the penalty for Schwab.
Shot disrupted there. Miles Park got a stick on it. Big ground ball. A goose attempt there. And another good job, good stick check from the Gauchos. Ball with Glassman. Glassman finds his outlet in Britton. Britton and running up with his line mate there, Ace Burns. That was a group that was highlighted by Coach Allen. We mentioned it many times yesterday, that rope unit. 10 and 43 in white, a group that's been very successful for the Gauchos this year, pushing transition and creating offense.
Definitely, Chris, and I think that unit is going to be key if these Gauchos are going to be able to neutralize any face-off advantage that Hale Brown generates for the Bears.
Menendez breaks off his defender. Good job selling that lefty dodge, getting high. Menendez notches an assist to get on the board. That goal was scored by
Chesney got that one. Chesney in the same spot that he had so much success in yesterday. From that bottom left-hand corner, yesterday, Chesney was sniping corners from that spot against Sonoma State. He continues that today.
2 shots, 2 different locations against Weeb. One high and short, one low and wide there. Short side, wide side. It's a varying shot location on a goalie that's very capable of getting hot. Started with Menendez there, got the better of Scott. Fast break coming down. Early success for the Gauchos. Winning the faceoff was Ryan Marquardt. He gets an assist as well as Menendez puts it home. Early 3-0 lead for the Gauchos.
The Gauchos so far have done a great job of flipping this field here. They've sort of neutralized Brown in the early goings. Brown won the first faceoff, but the Gauchos have taken 2 straight, turned both of those possessions now into goals. And so we'll see if Hale can figure out this faceoff for
Marquardt again goes forward. Had transition opportunity, but the ball did not get scooped cleanly. Parker Scott trying to get it up for the Bears. Bodies flying. No harm, no foul. Maybe a small foul as a technical is called for a push against the Bears. Will be Santa Barbara ball with a 3-goal lead already. The Bears, they can go on a run of their own. We saw it yesterday. Jumped off to a 5-goal lead, traded a couple of 2, 3-goal runs with Cal Poly. So they need a stop right now, but they absolutely have the offense to make a comeback. Of course they can make a comeback. We're barely starting this game, but an early 3-goal hole starts with a stop if you're going to change that. Great ground ball and getting it out of pressure from Tyler Chrisman, but immediately turned over. And the Gauchos are attacking. Smelling blood in the water is Menendez. Dwelly with it up top.
Yeah, frantic pace so far. Santa Barbara definitely the beneficiary of catching the Bears. Unsettled a couple times. We'll see if defensively they can figure things out here.
Dwelly trucks his defender. Gets a shot off there. That should be something. Looks like Dwelly there It called for you didn't need to make that hit kind of play against Schultz. Good save there from Weeb. Good one to get back on track as Dwelly just kind of had all the time in the world. Yeah, he's looking up at the sky, the ball in the sky, and they'll call that maybe a defenseless player, even though you could argue, it was in his chest, it was in the front of his body there. I think the call is a defenseless player. Typically when the ball's in the air, you want to try and stick check or find the ball. If we're looking up and you get hit hard there, they're going to call that.
Yeah, sort of like a punter catching a fair catch there. It's going to be sort of a defenseless type of situation. The refs rein that one in before anything really starts from it.
I'll tell you what, this is uncomfortable to see 50 out there on offense. Again, that's Lucas Bear, normally wearing number 7. 50, Bear taking the shot, seen the whole way by Schwab back in net. His first save of the day. Ground ball gained by Ace Bruns for the Gauchos.
I think I understand what Bear was trying to do there. He thought he had an advantage. He sort of spun away from the slide. I don't know.
Don't get me wrong. That's a good shot early in the possession, right? That's maybe the only counterpoint.
Yeah, part of me thinks that maybe, though, with the way this game has gone so far to start, may want to get the ball and settle it up a little bit.
Dwelly, again, lowering his shoulder into his defender. Feels like he's got the size matchup. I have him listed as 6'3", 190. Definitely seems to have some size, but so does this Bears defense. Ball swinging around. Cochler fumbling with it. Chesney gets it up for the Gauchos. Over to Ward.
Frantic pace right now.
Chesney having a run against Dumont. He's got that shorty matchup that he wants. We got 10 seconds, less than 10 on the shot clock. Dish inside. A good look from Cochler. Misses high, and that's going to end up being a shot clock violation. One reminder for viewers at home, the shot clock you see on the screen is maybe not exact with the shot clock on the field. And so keep that in mind as we progress throughout this contest. Good stop from the Bears right there. That's what they needed. Santa Barbara, weak ride as they sub everyone off into their defensive end. Dumont just got caught on defense. Let's see if he stays on in the efforts to break the ice for the Bears. So immediately subs off. This is going to be Jaro, Bear at the top of the midfield. Third midfielder being Morgan Brower. Bear with the shorty matchup. Bruns marking him. Ball works its way back around to Jaro. Jaro, right split. Hands free in the middle, takes a shot, misses wide. Good job from the defense to get a lift check or a bit of a piece there. Burke with the ball behind. Dodges his pull. One pass upside. Finishing the ball is number 50, not number 7, Lucas Bear.
Goal, UC Berkeley Bears. Number 50.
Great find there by Chris Burke. Going up from X. Finding his man.
Number 32.
Finds Bear there, and he knows what to do with it.
Yeah, he got a good step on his defender. He draws the slide, a lot of attention, right? That other midfielder has to come down and be the 2 slide. And Bear just a good job of stepping into space and placing that shot well. 3-1 early in this WCLL Division I championship game. Hands are up for a loose ball push. That's going to be Berkeley ball. Starting to feel this field tilting back even a little bit after seeing so much Santa Barbara offense and chaos early.
Obviously a lot of game left here, Chris, but in the first 8 minutes and change or so of this game, it's been the pace has been pretty frantic. I'm expecting it to slow down just a little bit. Never mind.
Just a 6 split there. Has enough space and time to get back to his inside hand for a massive step down. Rings it high on Schwab. That was a sick goal for the freshman out of Manhattan Beach.
Dodging against one of the best defensive midfielders for the Gauchos there. Britton able to get a step pretty easily and just run right by him. Great shot placement there, too.
tied up at the face-off dot. The Wings playing box out, playing position. Coming out with it for a minute there was Hale. Scoop to space. Ball still loose. Great job staying with the play is Jack Curran there. Oh, and a tough turnover as Curran was trying to get it to Fredericks. It's going to be Santa Barbara ball. Schwab clearing for the Gauchos. Works it over to McGrath. Good crossfield pass from McGrath there. We've said it many times this weekend, the easiest clear is the redirected clear. You push one way, you get it back to the other side. If you have a pole that can make that pass every time, makes it pretty simple. Herschel Griffin operating against Chrisman. Moves it forward to Schwartz. Schwartz gets inside, takes a hit, hits a shot off Weeb. Great save right there, got a big piece of it. Santa Barbara maintains possession.
Weeb is starting to see the ball better after that early shaky start. He's made a couple big saves recently.
Declan Schwartz going again here. Seems like that's the early game plan for the Gauchos, is letting their big midfielders dodge down the alley, holding the slide. Nice little twist bounce attempt there. That was a 29, our guy Chesney. We said his name a lot last game. Dwelly sweeping high, gets to the middle of the field, has time, takes a shot, deflected on its way in, backed up by the Gauchos. Udolph, first time we're saying his name, it won't be the last. One of the starting attackmen for the Gauchos. Brought the ball in from X. Looks like we'll see them initiate from up top again, this time with Herschel Griffin. Feed inside. It almost looked like no one was there, but out of nowhere, Udolph sticks his cross up, securing the pass, unable to get the shot on Cage. More of that hectic atmosphere that you're talking about. Santa Barbara called for playing the ball while standing out of bounds. It's going to be Berkeley ball. Chrisman, ball and stick dislodged there. Great check from the Gauchos, 33. That's Patrick Goff at the top of the offensive zone.
Riding clearing was a big aspect of our last game, the Division II championship final. Obviously, every possession counts in a championship game, and so that one is going to be, one of the ones that Chrisman obviously would like to have back.
Dwelly bouncing back and forth, draws the double from Scott. They switch their matchups back. Menendez now understanding they just switched matchups. Let's have a go. Gets his left hand, misses high. Chesney off the end line, back to Menendez. Menendez always a threat, and I think 52, Parker Scott's playing it pretty well to this point. Shot off Cage, it counts as a save anyway, as Weeb got all of that one. To finish that thought, you'll watch when Menendez has the ball, Parker Scott very, very disciplined in his approach, right? He's not overextending on an athletic attackman. He's maintaining his angles. He's keeping his stick in front of him, working best he can to control that dangerous player.
Yeah, Scott's a really lengthy and rangy player, and so that definitely plays to his strengths as long as he can stay in front.
Dumont draws a slide again there. Good job tying him up was McGrath.
Santa Barbara, you see, is already making a little adjustment, sending a very early slide to Dumont based off of how shifty he is.
Good pass up top. Oh, he had a chance if he got that cleanly. Jaro backs out. Splits to his left, hands free. Good work from the defender as they continue crashing. Jaro still has it, rings a shot off the pipe. Fredericks with it, works the ball inside. Bagwell now shoots high, misses. Some good action from the Bears there. Not sure how Jaro kept that ball in his stick. That was an impressive display of his handle there. Fredericks, pass down, pick down. Popped right there. That's number 3, Gabe Berger for the Gauchos. Little extracurriculars, and you are going to pay the price for that, as we've got laundry on the far side. So Cal likely, even if they score, this will stand. Dwelly dumps inside. One more finished. Chesney, and one if they want it. Not going to get it. Chesney finishing on the feed. Good transition by the Gauchos. That's Chesney with the goal. Assist by number 16, Dwelly. Great break right there. Not even a 4-on-4 there. That pole didn't need to slide up. That pole didn't need to make that hit. Doesn't get called for it anyway.
Yeah, Chris, I think exactly what you're saying, right? Championship game, every mistake is amplified by a lot. Saw Yamada slide up field there from Chesney, who's one of the most dangerous parts of this Santa Barbara offense.
I misspoke earlier. It was not a personal penalty. It was a technical. So the goal did wipe off the flag that was on the ground. We are playing all even lacrosse. The Bears with a turnover, trying to pass it across the field. Gaucho ball in the stick of Bruns. Bruns makes a simple pass to McGrath. McGrath all the way over to Ward. Again, just reverse the field. It's as easy as it gets.
Short time left in this quarter. Santa Barbara will likely hold for this last shot here or try and get one of the last looks on Cage.
Connor Levine getting into some game action here. Over to Cockler. Cockler, nice job getting to the middle of the field. Big windup, missing high and wide.
Cockler getting topside there really easily, and the Bears didn't quite seem ready for it. That's something that they'll look to tighten up.
How about this show of respect from the Bears? Chesney, the freshman, drawing the top pole from Berkeley's defense, Joel Yamada. Yamada, a first-team defender. He's going to be marking and hounding that freshman all day. As another shot taken, misses high. We have 10 seconds left. Good job from Santa Barbara to generate quality looks despite the short time.
Set play coming here from Santa Barbara.
Udolph sweeping behind. Low time, gets a shot off. Save, we'll give it to him. Not sure if it was a save or a pipe, but he earned it. Was Cody Weeb, his 4th save on the day. And that was an exhausting 15 minutes for us. I can't imagine about the players on the field.
Up and down action. This is exactly what we wanted here. Excitement all the way through that first quarter of this WCLL championship.
This is Guests at 2.
Chris, a couple trends I'm watching for, and I think maybe we can talk a little bit about this. Playoff nerves, right? They're a real thing. I would say that out of the two teams, Santa Barbara came out and they seemed a lot more comfortable from the start. They seemed a little bit more comfortable, and I think that reflects in their aggression. They're out there, they're generating turnovers, mucking up the face-off and making things hard for Hale Brown. I think they benefited from a couple transition opportunities that they were able to generate there. The Bears, I feel like, they're still finding their legs underneath them a little bit. It's early in this game, obviously, but a little bit of an emotional let-up there with Fredericks getting frustrated, and that led to a transition play and then sliding upfield. Sort of uncharacteristic mistakes that you don't see from a team this late in the season, and that could definitely be the result of nerves.
Yeah, color me surprised, Josh. I did not anticipate Santa Barbara having the advantage at the face-off X with how dominant Hale Brown was yesterday. Brown awarded WCLL first team face-off honors, 70% face-off wins on the year. That number is only going to be higher after yesterday. But Santa Barbara, with two options at face-off with Marquardt and Schlemovitz, they've really negated that advantage for Berkeley.
Yeah, and in fact, they've generated more transition from it. I feel like, at the very least, if the Bears do win the face-off, it's a pretty messy face-off. It's, not really a transition opportunity. I do think the only face-off I can remember that was a very clean win forward was actually by the Gauchos, and they pushed that into transition.
Yeah, so far, 15 minutes in, things going the Gauchos' way. I talked earlier about Coach Allen wanting to, make it a battle at the face-off X. They definitely are. to this point, their offense certainly keeping pace, on track for 16 on the day.
Yeah, we'll see if the Bears can come up with any answers defensively and also on their offensive side. I think they're actually generating pretty good looks offensively. They just need to value the ball and obviously in the riding game too, making sure, riding and clearing, making sure that they're taking care of it there.
On cue, Brown secures his cleanest face-off win of the day, winning to himself, drawing pressure, finds his outlet in Jack Curran. Cal Bears substituting their line one midfield on for the Bears. That's Bagwell, Jaro, about to catch it is Bear. Those three really talented group. They play really well together. One thing yesterday I noticed was just how really seamlessly they executed their offensive game plan. You could see they had a plan, and they 100% did everything correct, generating 18 goals. Jaro draws a slide inside to Bagwell. Bagwell from deep, seen by Schwab. As far as step downs go, not a bad time for one, right? A quick release off of the dodge. You caught the defense a little bit behind as you had your hands free. Just a tough location, or maybe not a great location on the shot from Bagwell there. And Schwab, he was the defensive player of the year for the WCLL this year. So you're going to have to work a little bit harder or place that shot a little bit better to get it past him.
Definitely, yeah. Anytime that you're facing the defensive player of the year sitting in goal, it's gonna be a tough challenge to generate good shots off of that. Wow, fortunate there for the Bears.
I was gonna say, talk about good shots generated. In and out of the crease is the call. The refs are going to discuss it. I don't believe he had possession when he was out of the crease. We'll see what the decision is.
Yeah, Weeb made a nifty play there, sort of goosing it to himself outside of the crease. Going back to this player, you can see the replay on. The Gauchos did a really good and heady play here. Britton is familiar on the offensive end enough to know that if he sets a pick for Menendez there, that he's going to put the offensive midfielder who was guarding him into a pretty dangerous situation. Offensive midfielders sometimes don't know how to play picks like that. Parker Scott gets caught up behind the pick, and Menendez just has a free run at the goal. There's saved by the pipe is Weeb and the Bears defense here.
All right, it's going to stay Santa Barbara ball. Cochler with it. Cochler's got something written on the back of his shirt there. I want to know what it is. Might be something like "send help" after he beats a guy.
It did. The last word did look like "help" to me, so we'll see if he's able to flash that to us.
Chesney marked by Yamada. Great positioning from Yamada. Cochler inside, bounces one off the crossbar. I think that hit Weeb, then bar, so we'll give him another save, his fifth on the day. Menendez taking a run through the middle, strongly marked by Scott, drawing the slash. Menendez again rolling topside to his left. Menendez just quick with a change of direction. Good swim attempt right there from Ward. Well marked by the Bears defender. That's 44, Ty Wilbur. Getting inside, drawing the slide back to Chesney. Time and room. Bullseye! That's 19, Trey Cochler. Just good offense from the Gauchos right there. It starts on the near end. He draws the slide. He gets the pass off with his inside hand, which is key here. Watch as Berger, I guess it was his outside hand, but he dishes it one more as the slide came up to him, able to make an easy feed with his hands free. 19 puts it home, his second of the day for Cochler.
Yeah, it was a great find there by Chesney, skipping over Menendez and finding Cochler there for the step down. The Bears, you can see, started to rotate, and they were rotating all the way around. Chesney able to beat the entire rotation by skipping a man, finding Cochler for the step down. Great shot, great location.
And Santa Barbara is rewarded with a man-up opportunity as that slash, the goal does not wave off a slash. Parker Scott, he's spending a minute over in the penalty box. Big win there on the faceoff for Hale Brown. Oh, risky pass there from Weeb, trying to connect on the far side. Not sure if the ball was lost in the sun or if it was just an errant pass. Santa Barbara and Camden Dwelly will clear relatively easily with a man-up opportunity. You can see the clock on your screen there. Just over 30 seconds remaining in this man-up chance. And Santa Barbara will call a timeout to make sure they can capitalize with the man advantage. In a game like this, Division I final, an automatic qualifier on the line to the MCLA tournament in Round Rock, Texas, you need to capitalize on every opportunity you have. Coach Allen sensing that and wanting to make sure they put one in the back of the net here.
Yeah, definitely, Chris. I've been really impressed so far with the Gauchos and how they've come out. They've been assertive, they've been aggressive, and so far, obviously, they're winning this game. Excited to see what type of adjustments we see from the Bears here. They seem, slightly still like they're finding their legs a little bit, like a high clearing pass, high errant pass here. I think they just need to settle in a little bit. Just, take a deep breath maybe and just grit this one out.
Yeah, and that last clear for the Bears, it's tough to clear when you're a man down.
Absolutely.
Because they have an extra guy, or actually they have the same amount of guys as you when you count the goalie. And so, Cal can effectively mark up on everyone. There's less space to work with because you have less guys to work. And maybe that difficulty in clearing is what forced Weeb to make that cross-field pass and giving the ball back to Santa Barbara, giving them a chance to convert here. 34-second man-up opportunity.
Gauchos look like they'll start in a 1-4-1 here.
Usually you look to see a little crease pop action there. Work it around one. You got time. 30 seconds is a lot of time. We see some seals inside. Ball works back around to Chesney. Chesney thought about feeding up. Cochler with it now. Menendez to Dwelly. Chesney now. Cochler skip all the way up top. Dwelly unable to get it. It was a little bit of a low pass. Menendez now, Dwelly, Chesney. Penalty releases. They got about 2 more seconds with an advantage. A good release there, marking up at the top of the box by Tyler Chrisman. We are all even as Santa Barbara now will sub their base offensive personnel off. You see 32, Andrew Smith for the Gauchos, seemingly a man-up specialist. Cochler, free run down the alley, pass back to Dwelly. Puts that behind Weeb. Kind of interesting. I'm curious to watch this replay there because it looked like on the initial dodge, Dwelly just kind of pops the space, right? You see this dodge from Cochler, beats a guy that slides kind of in no man's land, and the recovery just doesn't have a chance to get there. Good pop by Dwelly. Good assist from Cochler.
Yeah, great find there by Cochler, and a great awareness, right? He notices, he draws the slide, he's got 2 guys, and then as his defender sort of peels back, he knows he's got him stuck in no man's land. Captain-to-captain connection there, Cochler to Dwelly for the goal.
Another unforced error for the Bears. Face-off violation in favor of Santa Barbara.
Cal's defense here, maybe, it's been a couple possessions in a row, some man down, a failed clear. Definitely have to be aware here of fatigue and making sure that you continue to communicate and continue to make good approaches and good slides here.
Menendez split off Scott there, fed it all the way across to Chesney. Chesney off the near pipe. Look at the wheels here from Dumont, pushing the break all on his own, all the way down. Oh, pipe of his own right there. What a good look, an effort play from Dumont. Showing off his wheels. One man to beat. Gets a shot off. Just finds a pipe.
That would have been a huge play, Chris. Santa Barbara this time saved by the pipe.
Pipes are ringing here in Los Gatos. Both teams playing hard, trying to earn not only the WCLL crown for the 2024 season, but the automatic qualifier that comes with it. Big bouncer there for the Gauchos goes. That's Herschel Griffin, freshman out of Brambleton, Virginia, notching his first goal of the day.
It's great individual effort there by Griffin. Able to get Chrisman sort of on his heels. I think this all starts because he's able to basically beat him topside, and Chrisman is trying to recover the rest of the way. Chrisman there just has to really force his man down to the alley. You got to dictate on defense and take your guys to the spots you want them to go.
Brown winning cleanly to himself forward. Good recovery there by the Gauchos. Marquardt prevents any break. Bear now subbing in. If you're just joining us, Lucas Bear is wearing 50 today, not his normal number 7. Bagwell drawing the long stick matchup of Goff. Cal, quick advantage in the sub game. Good job there by the Gauchos. Britton to cut off any angle. Jaro wants to keep creating his angle. Draws the push. "30-second penalty incoming if the Bears are unable to put one in here. Jaro in his left draws the double from the backside. Passes along to Bear. Bear skipped through. Nice handle inside, and finishing is Chris Burke. Goal is good. What an amazing handle and footwork there from the grad student out of Portland, Maine. Burke, his first goal of the day. That assist came all the way from the top of the field.
Assist by number 50, Joe Sonsini out of Menlo Park, California.
That's 50. Number 50, Bear.
It's a great handle there by Chris Burke. Sort of climbing the ladder, making a miraculous play to take that one down and turn it into a goal.
All right, and things starting to go the Bears' way here as a face-off violation will give them a chance to build on the momentum. That flag, of course, waved off by the goal. 6-on-6 lacrosse. Bear down the alley. Draws one, moves it forward. Inside, good look for DeMont. Another crossbar there. The Bears getting great looks. Just a little too far off frame. And by a little, I mean a little. The Pipes doing a lot of work for Zane Schwab in net. Brower for the Bears. Trying to get that inside roll. Again, it was Burke. He is feeling comfortable after his last finish. He wanted to get back to the same spot, but the ball dislodged by the Santa Barbara defense. One thing I'm noticing here, the Bears are doing a really great job of drawing that first slide and immediately moving.
Yep.
Right? They're drawing it. They're passing behind it. Whether it's to the guy he slid off of, right, following the slide, or if it's to someone on the backside floating to space. Really, really smart lacrosse by the Bears, generating good looks. 3 goals is surprising given the shot opportunities that the Bears have seen.
Yeah, I was going to say, it can be easy to, even this early in the game, sort of scoreboard watch a little bit. The Bears are getting good looks on offense. They just have to keep staying patient.
Dwelly trying to do it all himself there. Great defense from Dumont and Yamada. Dumont going to go for another run here. We saw him just a minute ago pushing transition on his own. He does this again. Tries to work it through Burke. Burke mishandled the pass. Ball is going to be awarded to Santa Barbara. Last touched by the Bears. Dumont's just instant offense, huh?
Yeah, it's excitement in a bottle.
Another easy, patient clear for the Gauchos. This game feeling like it's ramping up, and Santa Barbara settling it down a little bit. We just saw some end-to-end action, a lot of pipes there, a lot of great looks. Santa Barbara says, hey, let's find the best look.
Yeah, Santa Barbara's had a lot of success in their settled offense. I sort of like this call here. Just, hey, take a breath. You know, let's set it up. And let's get back into our sets.
Working inside, saved by Wiebe on the shot attempt from Berger. They're going to say that Berger stepped in the crease after the attempt. Ball goes back to the Bears. One thing to watch, number 6 in white, Grady Ward. That's already the third time in this game I've seen him try to swim his defender. So look out for those swim moves from number 6.
Bears have generated transition here off of the substitution game.
Yep, sub-game action, good recovery, good job of playing 2 by Dwelly as he then subs himself off as well. And a good job from the Bears not to force it there. Sometimes you got small windows. You want to say, oh, we had advantage. I could push it. And then that's how you end up with some turnovers. Here's Bear rolling back on Britton. This is going to be a good dodge right here. Britton, honorable mention, D-Mitty. Bear, obviously very talented player himself, second-team midfielder. Bear gets the best of him and goes high to finish for the Bears. Just a great individual effort there, and you could see him smelling blood in the water, liking his matchup.
Definitely.
We can tell right here he's going to cage. Gets a step, little like trip up there, maybe held the slide for just a split second. And then he continues to bend inside, and really a well-placed shot. I'm not quite sure how he found the corner from that angle, but he sure did.
Yeah, powers it right by Schwab there. Not easy to do, obviously. Schwab, Defensive Player of the Year, so it's well-placed shot there for Bear.
Big ground ball. Goff coming up with it for the Gauchos. Sprinting on the field is Cockler. Cockler, a little hop in his step, trying to go down the alley. Rolls back topside, ball works over to Berger. Berger hitches middle. Good double right there. That was Pavlet for the Bears, rolling or doubling, sliding to the backside. Chesney skipping through. Cockler now. Good pole pass. Big shot right there
Great
for Berger. Wiebe up to the challenge. Turned over. I look down to mark a save, and I look up, and we're celebrating a goal for the Gauchos. Josh, what happened there?
I think Udolph caused that one. Wiebe controlled it, but then the rebound sort of just skipped out, and Udolph sort of saw it and was very resourceful. The ball just came to him, and just put it right past him. Udolph, see, comes up from
just
down there.
Unable to get the ground ball there. Maybe trying to rush the pickup and trying to push transition, and just kind of scoop through the top of the ball, and didn't get it into the net of his stick.
It's a really tough break there for Wiebe. It's did the hard part, right? Made the save, and then the ball sort of skits out.
Yep. Goalies always have to have a next one up mentality, but especially there, where like you said, you did the hard part. That is a play that probably has never happened for Cody Wiebe. Talented player, fantastic resume, a Tufts transfer, right, or a Tufts grad student.
Yep.
One you just got to shake off and understand, hey, that's not me. That's just kind of a fluke right there, and continue to play his game. Jaro rolling. Jaro to the middle, hands free, big save. Oh, and another save on the follow-up attempt. That was Ois. Almost able to get a rebound of his own. Jaro, really good work getting to the middle of the field. That's the most dangerous place on the field if you're a defender. You're taught to never give it up. Here comes the slide, took the slash. Ois almost capitalizes there. Schwab, 2 quick saves to bail out his defense, but he's going to have to do it again here. Man down for 1 minute on the slash.
I know Ois wants that one back. He had the goalie one-on-none. Just need to throw a fake there and move him a little bit. Schwab with a great save to his credit.
Ooh, that little fake from Jaro got most of the defense.
The Bears man-up unit has been very successful this weekend.
Ois Loses the ball for a minute. Fredericks able to pick it back up. Burke skipped through Dumont. Back to Fredericks. Fredericks low to high. Beautiful shot right there for the freshman, Nate Fredericks, Oakland, California. His first of the day, assisted by Dumont. Chalk one up for the man-up unit. Good skip, gets the defense moving. One more pass. Just excellent placement there from Fredericks.
We've been waiting to call Fredericks' name all day. He had many goals yesterday. 4 goals, 2 assists by my count from yesterday's game. Just waiting for him to make an impact, and there he is in a big moment.
Oh, Markert won the faceoff to himself forward. Kind of tried to goose it to his attackman. I felt he could have maybe picked that up clean. Nothing doing, though, as the Gauchos do still end up with the ball in the stick of Udolph. But the stick of Udolph is on the ground. Great check there from Pavlet. Caused turnover for that vaunted number 4.
Tough turnover there. Right after he started a yard sale, he ends up giving it back to the Gauchos. One note, I know that it is pretty warm down there on the fields. Typically, one thing that can happen is when the weather heats up, sometimes the mesh on the players' sticks throws a little different. In particular, when it's dry outside, sometimes you can end up throwing high because your mesh contracts and you have just a little bit less hold and a little bit less whip than you think you would.
It's a good science lesson there from Josh Chen, aspiring med student. Good stop from the Bears. Ball on the ground momentarily. Picked up and swarmed. Secured by Yamada. Gotta go, gotta clear, and they do just in time. Big hit there from Dwelly. He put Jack Curran on the ground, but he did not do it legally, as they're going to get him for probably an illegal body check. We will see how long, likely just a minute.
Yeah, we call that a hospital pass that Yamada threw there to Curran. Glad that Curran did not end up in the hospital.
Yeah, and again, we're seeing, that's a second time a player's been looking up for the ball, and he's gotten hit, and the hitter, the offending party, has been called for that flag. So these refs wanting to control this game early, understanding the emotion of the game. We saw in our matchup earlier in the Division II final, a trio of 3-minute non-releasable penalties. Different crew of officials here, but the same desire to control the game and nip anything in the bud, not let it get out of hand.
Absolutely. The Bears, I think that whole situation, right, maybe we can talk about the start of it. It started because of an unsettled situation off of the clear, and I think that the Gauchos are doing a great job of making the Bears sort of, have to think about their clear quite a bit and execute it very, very well. And they're starting to really take advantage of all these little small mistakes by getting the ball back on the ground and generating some havoc here.
Yeah, and we've got another opportunity for the Bears man-up unit. They just cashed in on this. Santa Barbara showing some real nice rotation. They nearly got the same look on the skip up to Dumont. The defense cut it off, though, before it could get to Fredericks. Jaro now to Dumont, back to Jaro. Big rip there, off-stick hip. That's the hardest place to save for a reason. That is Bear, his hat trick already in this Division I final.
Bear with a great shot there.
This angle is going to be awesome.
Spot for Schwab to save.
Boom, off-stick hip. Tough to get there, especially when that shot is right on the pipe.
Bear is shooting lasers right now. His third goal, like you mentioned, Chris, of the day, and he single-handedly is trying to will these Bears back into this game.
That's 2 for 2 for the Bears man-up unit. If you're Santa Barbara, you cannot seemingly commit those infractions. We've got less than 30 seconds in the first half here in Los Gatos. Berkeley looking to hold for the last shot. Timeout called. Coach Webster ensuring that they do. get the best shot as the last shot, as we've got 13.7 seconds to be exact. Plenty of time to get at least one look for the Bears.
Yeah, definitely, Chris. And this would be a big, big possession here. If the Bears can cash in, a 1-goal difference going into half, a lot different than a 2-goal difference going into half. And so I'm sure that Coach Webb is going to draw up something here and try and get his guys in good spots for this one. Got to think that, I don't know, Lucas Bears had the hot hand recently. Get him the ball, maybe run some picks or something, and get him some space. On the Gaucho side, I'm sure that they're probably just going to try and look for a couple of the Bears playmakers and make sure that they don't beat them with this play. Obviously, Fredericks is very dangerous. He's been quiet so far with just that 1 goal, and I know that Bayer has stepped up in his absence. Maybe they'll look to throw a shutoff in there or something like that to disrupt things.
Yeah, with 14 seconds you're seeing on your screen, enough time, as we're saying, but also a wrinkle there can take up maybe half of that clock. And if you're the defense, that's a win for you. You throw them off of, throw them off the scent a little bit. They make a little bit uncomfortable. They weren't expecting something. They have to adjust on the fly. Can make that 14 seconds even shorter.
Definitely.
Bears break their huddle. You've got Bear, you've got Jaro, you've got Fredericks, Burke, Dumont on the crease, Ois. This is your line 1 midfield with your starting attack for the Bears. Of course, it's going to be with a chance to make this a 1-goal game headed into halftime. Dumont through to Burke. Big little action. Burke pushing up the hash. Back to Dumont, mishandled. That is going to do it for your first half of action in this 2024 WCLL Division I title game. Josh, thoughts? Quick minute of thoughts here as we head into halftime.
Yeah, no, definitely. A back-and-forth game. The pace has been great, and it's been very up-tempo. Things going up and down the field. I think both of the teams you saw, especially later in that second quarter, things started to settle in, and the teams are really starting to get a feel for each other now. I've been impressed with how Cal is able to weather that early storm that Santa Barbara threw at them. We'll see if the teams make some adjustments here in the second half, and we'll see how this one shakes out.
Yep. We will continue to keep you in the loop for this contest. We're going to take a break here for halftime. On your screen, you see some little dudes setting up. We got some action between the Red Hawks and the, let me get this right, my apologies, the Red Hawks and the Fremont Spartans, some local youth programs. They're going to do some battle here, duke it out, provide some entertainment for the fans here in Los Gatos. We're going to sign off. We'll catch you on the other side. Until then, I'm Chris Nespor. That's Josh Chen.
Spartans, coached by Drew White and Dominique Boitano. There's a release for the face-off. Number 2 has the ball. He's backing up and setting up. There's a nice pass, number 1. shot on goal. It's a score. Number 1. There's a goal for the Fremont Spartans. Here's the next matchup. Another face-off. Each of the goalies are looking ready. Looks like there's a reset. It's a struggle, there's a scoop. Oh, there's the breakaway, number 4. Number 1 get with the ball, a nice pass. Oh, it's broken up by number 34 of the Redhawks. A little bit of ground ball action here. Oh, it's taken away by number 4 with the Redhawks. He breaks away. A nice spin. And a pass. Number 39 and a shot on goal. Great shot. Nice save. Redhawks with the ball again. It's a pass to 34. Ground ball scooped up. It's a spin 3-on-1 situation. And there it is, a breakaway. Number 4 the Redhawks, a pass. And a shot.
And I wasn't even there. I was in volleyball practice. And once I finished practice,
The ball goes back to the Redhawks. A little pressure there. For ground ball action, let's see who surfaces with this one. It's popped up, and oh, there it goes. So Fremont Spartans break away with it. Number 2 has the ball. He sets up, waiting for his offense. There's a spin. The Redhawks providing tight coverage here. There's a whistle on the field. There's 1 minute left in the game. It's a close match. Number 4, the Redhawks, takes off the ball down the sideline. Defense is setting up, looking tight. And number 8 playing tight defense. There's a shot. Goal!
Do it, man. If it makes you happy, like I flew like I can't remember like Wisconsin. I'm like, oh, what are you doing?
Got time for one more face-off. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. There's a breakaway with the Redhawks. Number 4 is the ball. There's a shot on goal, score. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes your U10 matchup with your Fremont Spartans versus your Redhawks. Fantastic game. The UC Santa Barbara Gauchos are coached by head coach Mike Allen, 13 years as head coach. Assistant coaches include Ryan Swogard and Drew Hayes for the Gauchos. Your Cal Bears are coached by head coach Ned Webster, his 10th year as a head coach. There's a lot at stake here in today's game. You can also watch today's broadcast on YouTube.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 30 minutes left to determine your WCLL champion and your automatic qualifier to this year's MCLA tournament in Texas. I'm Chris Nespor, joined by Josh Chen. In the middle of a 2-goal ball game, Santa Barbara currently holding the advantage over the Bears from UC Berkeley. It's been a hotly contested game with both teams going on runs of their own. Santa Barbara with that early hot start. I believe it was 3-0 to begin the game. And Cal able to scrape back, make it a 2-goal game here at halftime. And both offenses finding their legs in this one. Both goalies as well playing quite well. I've got Wiebe for the Bears with 6 saves and Schwab for the Gauchos with 5. Josh, what are you seeing here? What are you hoping to see? Are you making any adjustments, or are you just hoping your game plan, you're trusting your game plan, you want to execute it maybe a little bit better if you're the Bears, or you want to continue to execute if you're the Gauchos?
Yeah, I think exactly that, Chris, right? We've now settled into the second half of this game. The players have had a chance to shake off all those nerves and really get into the meat of this. Now it's just two teams duking it out. Who wants it more? Obviously, Santa Barbara, by virtue of that first half, was able to earn themselves a 2-goal cushion heading into this last 30 minutes of lacrosse. See if they're able to maintain that, or if the Bears will be able to dig into that. I think one of the key things that we're going to continue to watch here is that face-off X. Hale Brown won that one. I have now the Bears at winning 67% off of that initial dot. And so that's going to be something that we'll continue to monitor, and will definitely be something that, should it continue, will help the Bears get back into this game.
Yeah, that'll be big for Cal. I think that was one thing that really spurred the run by the Gauchos early, was their, again, early success at the face-off, some transition generated from it. So if Brown can continue to keep winning at a 67% clip, that'll be good for the Bears. This is good for the Gauchos, as turning the ball over was Patrick Goff. A great stick check. Menendez with it, unable to get the shot on cage, misses near side. Good work by the Bears defender, Parker Scott, to make sure he didn't get an angle on the net.
Great individual effort there by Goff, running down and stripping the ball from Jaro, one of the best Bears players, and then running the break himself. That was a great play.
Santa Barbara with a bit of opportunity here in the sub game. Cochler, big windup, missing Hyde. Backed up by the Gauchos.
Heard a collective from the crowd there. That was about as close and as open an opportunity as you can get, coming straight down the middle. Missed that one pretty far high. I think Yamada did a good job to alter it just enough.
Early here in the third quarter, 2 transition opportunities mishandled by the Gauchos. Coming out with this ground ball is Santa Barbara, in the stick of Herschel Griffin, a freshman who's had a big impact on this game already. Dishes off to Dwelly, operating from behind. Dwelly kind of trips on himself there, and ball collected by Weeb. Cal with a transition opportunity here with Wolber. Apologies. No numbers for the Bears. Wolber will roll to safety. Find Bagwell, one of the line one mids here for Berkeley. Brower getting in on the action. Bagwell, Brower, Bear for your midfield for the Bears. As Bagwell sweeps high with his left. Fredericks back to Bagwell. Rolling, finding Bear. Bear with time, shoots, misses wide. Backed up by UC Berkeley.
I'm having a little bit of deja vu here, Chris. Both of these two halves have started this exact same way. Brown wins the face-off, early turnover by the Bears, and then the Gauchos get some good looks. That being said, early in this game, the Gauchos were able to cash in on those. The Bears made some adjustment here and have been able to sort of stop that early push by the Gauchos, and now they've got the ball back. Let's see if they can do something with it.
Yeah, talk about good looks right there. Brower getting his hands free. That split dodge is lethal for him. 3 or 4 times in that, and then just in one possession, he was able to get his hands open, drawing a slide, that time taking a shot. Schwab just able to get that with his shoulder pad. Brower then subbed off to get Dumont back on. This is a matchup the Bears like. Dumont working against Britton. Dumont got the best of him last time, gets the best of him again. Tries to go high on Schwab. Schwab stuffs it. Pushing transition are the Gauchos. Ball is loose. Good ground ball, great stick work. Colin McGrath, Redwood High School here in the Bay Area. Here's some of that chaotic, frantic energy that the game started with. Santa Barbara finding Britton inside. Britton rolls, finds the back of the net, rolling off of the slide from Pavlet. Individual effort for Britton. Rewarded with his first goal on the day.
It's great play there by Britton, and once again, like we were saying, it's that frantic pace. I think that starts with Pavlet getting the ball up, but then getting sort of ambushed from behind. Credit that, call it a ride, call it what you will, call it hustle. Menendez earning the ball back and then finding Britton, and then a nice individual effort there, spinning around and putting that one in the back of the net.
Good no call from the refs, in my humble opinion. I think a little bit, some contact, but not enough to merit a push there. If you're a Bears fan, you disagree with me, and I say I'm sorry. But the Gauchos have the ball. Stick of Menendez there, and Berkeley really needs to clean up the clearing game. That was something in the first half, a couple unforced errors there. We see one already here in the third quarter, leading directly to a goal for the Gauchos. An easy thing to fix, but a fix needed nonetheless as Cochler draws the slide from Scott. Gaucho is going to want to work it back to Menendez. He has a short stick matchup. Berger wants a run of his own. Weeb makes the save low. Missed opportunity for the Gauchos. I think they really would have loved Menendez to dodge the shorty. And when he's finally free from the grasp of Parker Scott, who's done a really good job against Menendez so far today.
Totally agree with you, Chris. I think, Menendez maybe could have also commanded the ball a little bit more there. I've seen players yell, like, give me the ball, give me the ball. I think, that definitely would have been an option they wanted to take advantage of probably.
Jaro rolling back to his left, finds one open in the crease. Big save there for Schwab. That was a shot attempt by Bagwell. Schwab making his 8th save of the day. Might be his best one there as it was right on the crease. Great effort from Jaro, creates a turnover. Bear on the run for the Bears. Oh, another error in the clearing game as Bear was just trying to get it. He felt that pressure. He saw Burke open, but the pass had a little too much loft on it, and Santa Barbara able to intercept it and clear on their own.
Yeah, Goff did a great job there also to alter that one. He got right in on the hands, right as Bear was thinking about it, and caused him to sort of make a loopy pass like that.
Dwelly running against Schultz. Pulls back the attempt. He wanted to find Ward there, streaking up the field. Schwartz now working against Dumont. Passes over to Griffin. Griffin splits left. Good defense there for the Bears from Wolber. Ball working around. Dwelly now falling over again. Dwelly still with it, rolling high. Hands free, missing wide. Does get a shot clock resets. That means Weeb got a piece of it. Also, his 8th save of the day. So goalie's feeling good thus far in the second half. That ball is going to stay in bounds. Line's a little bit confusing here at the high school. We're playing the painted on line. The officials will call it correctly.
Great
Whoa,
check there
big
by Dumont.
slide right there. Yamada coming adjacent, and it felt like Schwartz didn't even see him.
Yeah. Both he and Dumont teaming up for that one. Another sort of Bears get the ball, they're trying to clear it up, and then another scrum coming from it.
Yamada had a beat on it, but a nice trail check.
Yeah, the Gauchos are relentless here.
This is a good job from Weeb just to find Dumont. Short stick open, coming back to help his goalie. Argument for a hold there.
Bears desperately needed that clear.
Wolber, good job getting the ball to Ois. Nice little belly play there. Bear controlling the ball. Jaro subbing on. Receives the pass from Bagwell. Bagwell marked by Britton. Gets to the middle, rolling back. Retreats. Jaro behind to Burke. Ois now with it. Burke working on Danziger. Bear with the short stick matchup. Ace Bruns for the Gauchos. Bear splits him off, drawing a lot of attention, throwing back to the middle. Bagwell right into the stick of Schwab. We talked about it earlier. The Bears feel like they're generating good looks. They're just not getting the shots in the correct spot, going against the Defensive Player of the Year in Schwab. And how's that? The first pole goal of the weekend, coming at a big time there. 33 for the Gauchos. Patrick Guff, just his second goal on the year, and an absolute laser beam juice goal for the Gauchos.
Yeah, Chris, that's exactly what it is, and makes you sort of wonder what the Bears are doing here. They're sort of hanging around near the midline. Goff sort of slips behind them, catches the ball, and no doubter pounds that one past Weeb. That had some velocity on it.
Hale Brown wins a big faceoff for the Bears, finding themselves in a 4-goal hole here. 6 minutes remaining in this third quarter.
Right, yeah, coming out of halftime, Chris, you sort of look to see, these two teams now have had a chance to make some adjustments, and I think the thing you really look for then is, who's going to come and grab and take control of this game. So far, Santa Barbara, with 2 goals and holding the Bears to none, they've done a lot of that, and the Bears haven't necessarily helped themselves with some of the mental mistakes they're making here.
Oh, it's good work to keep the ball on the ground ball there. Excellent play at the midline. Senior defender Ethan Pavlet keeps the ball on this end. Dumo double teamed. Still
Quick
has
slide
it.
comes.
They want to work to the backside. Fredericks gets his hands free. Shot backed up by the keeper. Santa Barbara ball. Felt like Dumont had that double. They were way out here outside the box, right? He worked it to Fredericks. Want to see Fredericks go one more on the other side and try and push and beat the recovery.
Yeah, absolutely. That uneven matchup was in that bottom triangle there with Burke and O'Keefe on crease. I think they had something there, but then Fredericks took it Obviously not a bad shot there. I mean, it had a lot of velocity on it, but
Schwab with the dime right there to Britton in the clear. Britton taking some heavy checks there from Cooper Endicott. Endicott, a player who, you know, he was a midfielder. He's playing a pole now. He got a save yesterday, stepping into cage. He's really just a do-it-all kind of guy. Cochler gets his hands, passing with his inside hand. Big-time save there.
Save there.
Weeb just robbing the Gaucho attackman as he tried to curl around the crease. Pavlet and Weeb looking for an opening in the clearing game. Weeb almost got tracked down. Burke now. Bagwell waits for reinforcements.
Bagwell's got Cochler on him in offensive midi. I wonder if he notices that and if he wants to have a go here.
Yeah, I think both Cochler and Berger's on ball. Both guys who have been getting a lot of offensive run for the Gauchos. So an opportunity for the Bears. Feed inside, great two-slide there. Denying the pass was Miles Park. Ball bounces, finds its way into the Gaucho stick. Pushing the break is Cochler. Cochler over to Menendez. Menendez rips a corner and stares down the crowd, egging him on. And the crowd responds. Beautiful shot placement right there from Menendez, and it started with the effort play from Cochler. I guess that's one advantage to having your offensive midfielder stuck on defense is they can push no problem.
Oh, yeah.
Cochler going top right cheddar for the goal, puts the Gauchos up 11-6.
Yeah, no, that's exactly to your point, Chris. I mean, Cochler finds himself with the ball, and obviously he knows what to do with that. So, great play there, and Menendez with a rocket.
Good ground ball work from the Bears. Curran coming up with it. Curran swarmed by Gauchos, bouncing off of him, clearing the ball himself, still taking contact. Curran really showing his grit. Still in danger.
Look at that punt returner back there.
That's great individual play by the sophomore out of Santa Cruz.
Yeah, that one won't show up on the stat sheet, but if we had AWS or something with us, we could track how many yards he ran on that play. How many times he ran around the defense. Could also calculate those things like yards after contact and like yards above expectation. Maybe we should get the WCL.
Average distance to closest defender.
Yeah, exactly. Next gen stats.
Doubled from the backside is Fredericks. Bear now finds Dumont. Dumont splits his defender off, tries to go low to high. I think it was disrupted on the stick check by Goff. Goff all over the place as of late for the Gauchos, doing a lot of work to make sure the Bears are not getting clean shot attempts. Burke, inside roll. Burke, smart finish right there. Faking high, pulling it low, getting that bouncer to go. Burke with an individual effort, his second goal on the day, recognizing there is no slide, and he had his defender on his heels after lowering his shoulder a bit here.
The Bears badly needed that goal after a little run there by UC Santa Barbara to get into this quarter. Burke there sneaks one past Schwab. Yeah, the Bears definitely needed that one.
Yeah, and you see on that replay there, Burke just got, dipped his left shoulder, he rolled inside. There was no slide there because the Bears were playing that crease so high as they should, pulling the would-be supporters away from the slide. That is going to be a push, and so good work right there. Bears doing everything that they can to will themselves back into this game. It's going to be a loose ball push that was Ty Wolber coming up with the ground ball on the face-off and handling that pressure and drawing the flag. So the Bears, by my count, 2 for 2, maybe 3 for 3. I'm not positive. Either way, quite successful in their man-up set, and they need one here.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, like you mentioned earlier, Chris, it's going to be key for Santa Barbara to stay out of the penalty box, given how successful this Bears unit has been. We'll see if they're able to capitalize on this opportunity here.
30-second man advantage for the Golden Bears of California. Just over 90 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Cal in their 2-3-1 at the moment. They're bound to rotate off of it, though. Jaro tries to skip through. Good job maintaining possession is Burke. Burke over to Dumont. Dumont down. Fredericks with it. Skip Dumont. Jaro now high. Dumont with it. Back to Jaro. Bear. Jaro's got one behind him. Bear wants the shot. Takes it. Misses high. We're going to play 6-on-6 lacrosse here. So good stand for the Gauchos defense.
Yeah, great stand there for Santa Barbara. Bear scored from that spot earlier on a man up. That time shooting off cage, so no chance on that one.
This is Jaro rolling back on his defender. This is Ace Bruns, one of those rope unit guys for the Gauchos, showing that he can mark his man pretty well there, right? Jaro, great offensive player, first team WCLL midfielder. And Bruns stick with him the whole time. Dumont, low angle, right into Schwab's stick. Schwab's 10th save of the day. Dumont able to get a step on his defender there, but didn't really do anything to increase his angle on the shot. Oof. Letting up on the hit was Parker Scott. Low time, big save, Weeb right there as the third quarter expires. Oh, that was dangerous for the Bears. It started that hospital pass, as we call it, up the field. Parker Scott smartly lays off, but gave up position a little bit. Menendez was able to push forward. One more across. Weeb makes the save at the buzzer to keep this a 4-goal ball game with 15 minutes to play.
Out as close as they get, and like you said, Chris, Scott slides up and then puts them in this 3-on-2 situation right at the end of the quarter. But great save there by Weeb to keep this lead at 4. Teams will talk it over now, and we're excited for this fourth quarter of action.
Goalies heating up, both in double digits with saves, both at 10. So this next one is big. The Bears need to break the confidence of Schwab. Their last couple shots has kind of gone right into his stick. They haven't really changed planes, staring him down a bit. So got to work to get Schwab moving in order to put the ball past him.
Yeah, and I think credit goes to UCSB's defense. Their long poles have had a really good day today. I feel like most of the time when the Bears are dodging against the long pole, be it the LSM Goff, or I haven't really even seen very many dodges against McGrath or Park, they've been really able to dictate that defensively and force the Bears into situations where, hey, the offensive players sort of neutralized. I think the only real success the Bears have had dodging have been against Britain, with really some of their best dodgers like Dumont. And then I think, yeah, it's been opportunities have been few and far between. So credit not only to Schwab, but also the defense in front of him, giving him the looks that he's wanted to see so far.
Quick check on our point scores for the Bears. That's going to be Lucas Bear, 3 goals, 1 assist. Chris Burke, 2-1. Dumont's got 1-1. Fredericks just with 1 goal on the day, so credit to the Santa Barbara defense holding Fredericks in check after his 6-point output last game yesterday. For the Gauchos, very spread out. They have three players with 2 goals in Cochler, Menendez, and Chesney, and 4 players with a goal apiece. So a balanced scoring output from the Gauchos. Hale Brown wins the faceoff, tries to go back to his keeper there. Ball ends up out of bounds. Not the start you need if you're the Bears.
Yeah, win off the faceoff there, but then airmails the pass.
Getting a step on his defender there. Backing out, though, was Udolph, wanting to get their true offensive personnel on the field. Grady Ward with it here. Gets to his left. Passing and picking action there. Some familiar kind of that cycle movement as Cochler. Good defense from the Bears. Cochler going to dodge his shorty behind. That's Jack Curran. Curran's been all over the place. We've said his name multiple times. Cochler trying to get room, unable to. Skip through to Chesney. Chesney down, back to Udolph. Udolph finds it up top. Hitch inside, shot disrupted there. Nice look for the Gauchos, Grady Ward. Good work to disrupt the shot by the Bears.
It's a great move there by Ward.
I'm not exactly, I mean, they're going to reset the shot clock here. So that means that was a save for Weeb. And whatever action had occurred, or maybe they're not going to reset it. The shot clock was reset inadvertently. They're going to bring it down. I believe I saw the ref motion for 20 seconds to get put on the clock. We'll run that down. Maybe it was 40. Shot clock is set at 40 seconds. It is still Gaucho ball.
They're going to go for this invert look again with Cochler dodging on Curran.
Cochler wraps. This is near side. Gauchos win the race to the end line. Yeah, Cochler clearly likes that matchup.
Yeah.
I think he's hunting it again here. Maybe they'll get a throwback pass to him. That forward pass to Chesney. Chesney tried to go low, and Weeb was on it. And on the break are the Bears.
Yeah, it was a great save there by Weeb, stopping that. I don't really like the adjacent slide there from Yamada, just leaving Chesney wide open.
Risky
down
for
low.
sure.
But, yep, hey, Weeb bails him out there, and they're able to get the ball to their offensive end.
Big possession for the Bears. Looking to draw first blood here in the fourth. Jaro pushes alley, skip back through to Fredericks. Fredericks lefty shot around his defender, just missed wide. Burke will bring it in from X.
There's a worm burner down there. If it was on cage, it could have had a chance to go, I think.
Here's Bear. Ball dislodged right there as he was trying to swim the defense of Britain. Santa Barbara clearing and throwing back into the defensive end. That was Danziger. Smart play as there was pressure up top. Now we've got Bruns on the run. No numbers there, so he's going to find his offensive midfielder. Or just someone on offense. He finds 22, Herschel Griffin. Griffin up to Berger.
Ooh,
Berger drops it. That's going to be over and back. Dumont will pick it up. This is a dead ball situation. They do have slight numbers if they push. However, Wilbur subbed off to negate that advantage. I don't think it was much of an advantage to begin with. Santa Barbara did a good job of retreating to the defensive end. Here's a name we haven't said much of today. That's sophomore Charlie O'Keefe. Pass with Bagwell, ball with Bagwell, piped down, that'll go. Bagwell, excellent location off the skip pass from O'Keefe.
UC Berkeley Bears.
Boy, the Bears needed that one. Bagwell taking a hard righty dodge down the alley. He's able to get pretty vertical on his dodge, which is great, and gets a good angle. Sneaks it by Schwab in that top left-hand corner.
I believe actually the assist goes to Dumont there. It was not a skip from O'Keefe. He went adjacently to Dumont, who pushed it one more to Bagwell. Nonetheless, a fantastic goal for the Bears, and a big one as they decreased the deficit to 3 goals. And when you've got this guy at the face-off dot, anything can happen. 3 goals down doesn't mean much to this team. They know they can go on a run.
Yeah, the Bears trying to play make it, take it lacrosse here. Let's see if they can string together a couple good possessions on offense.
That was an interesting change of pace there, seeing O'Keefe on offense. I'm looking over at the Cal sideline. I see Morgan Brower, who's been running with the line 2 midfield. He has his helmet off there, so O'Keefe potentially a chance to gain more minutes here in crunch time, right?
Definitely.
Here's Jaro, marked by Britton, rolls to his left, draws the slide.
Bears have Dwelly on defense here against Dumont.
Yeah, Dumont likes that. He's going to have a go. Just misses the cage. Backed up by the Bears. Chris Burke brings it in. It is a shot clock reset, so it seems like Schwab got a piece of it. And that'll be his 11th save on the day. Dumont up the hash. Over to Jaro. It's a good time to go. Rolls back to his left. Feed inside to Owis.
Santa Barbara did a good job of sending that slide early and getting in Jaro's face before he really had a chance to get his hands together after making that move.
Ball still loose. This looks a little bit like our 10U game that we had at halftime. Coming out with it and finishing the ball is Nate Fredericks. Just his second of the day. Couldn't come at a better time for the freshman. And a massive, massive goal there. Just when the Gauchos thought they made a stop, Fredericks comes out with the ground ball and finishes.
Great individual effort coming out of this scrum with it as Fredericks staying low, getting that ground ball, keeping the stick tight. Great stick protection as he's trailed by multiple Gauchos and able to finish it. Now back-to-back possessions, a quick 2-0 run here by the Bears.
Stick protection is the correct word right there.
Yes.
Keeping it tight to his body, understanding out of a ground ball scrum, there's going to be sticks hacking down on you. And just a really patient finish by Fredericks there. Apologies, I was looking at the midline there. I think he may have stepped on it, but it was before the 20 seconds had expired anyway, so even if he had gone all the way over, it wouldn't matter. Right, collegiate lacrosse, there's not an over and back until it's after 60 seconds.
Yep. The Bears here now with a unique opportunity. They've gone 2 for 2 on their last 2 possessions, and Santa Barbara has yet to touch the ball because of Hale Brown. Let's see if they're able to string another one together here. Ooh.
Bear drew 2. Owis now with it. I think if the Bears are going to come back in this one, Owis is gonna have a big goal. I can feel it. It's not a name that we've called a ton today. You know, he's got a history of scoring in big moments. No points on the day, but he's got 26 points on the year. He's been active on the crease, and they've been trying to get it to him.
You know, Chris, we've been really successful with our reverse commentator.
On
Jinxes.
cue, there he is.
There it is.
Owis finishes on the feed from Burke. And we've got ourselves a 1-goal ball game. Thor, you're welcome. I expect a thank you card in the mail. Cashing in on the crease. Just a great cut. Just a mirror cut. It's nothing more creative than that. The dodge up the one side, you mirror that down the other side, and Owis finishing, continuing to give his team momentum, and they have it all right now here on a 3-0 run in the fourth quarter with Hale Brown playing Make It Take It lacrosse.
Chris, that was a great call. I'm telling you, can I get a look at that crystal ball once you're done with it? That was a great commentator prediction right there. I'm sure you'll be receiving that thank you card you asked for at some point from one of these Cal fans here.
Broken clock is right twice a day. That's all I'll say. First line midfield out for the Bears. Jaro, Bear, Dumont. Jaro, head of steam. Escorted through X. Burke just misses high. Ball into the Santa Barbara end. They've got numbers. 4-on-3, led by Cockler. Cockler, skip over. Menendez, not Menendez, but Udall finishes. Cockler, good hustle, getting down on the break. Gets his 3rd assist on the day. And if Owis was the missing party for the Bears, Udall was the missing party for the Gauchos. Both of them have arrived. Udall answers in a big-time moment for the Gauchos.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a momentum killer, right? Is a fast break going the other direction after you have the ball on offense, you got a possession. Oh, just a misplay right there by Burke, and that's a costly turnover. It turns into a goal for the Gauchos.
They're going to get Santa Barbara on a hold here, so Brown continues his fourth quarter run at the face-off dot. Berkeley will pick it up.
Bears obviously need to respond to that fast break goal if they want to claw back into this one.
Bear now with it. Dumont splitting off his defender. Getting a text alert here. Former Cal Poly coach Bobby Dabrios thinks Cockler's the MVP of the league. We'll find out here shortly. We got 7 minutes to determine not only the outcome of this game, but also tournament MVP. We keep saying it all weekend. If you want some shout-outs, all you got to do is ask. The ball works up top. Dumont over to Bear. Bear rolling back to his right hand. I keep wanting to say strong hand here, but these midfielders feel very two-handed, both him and Jaro. Oh! Unforced error from Bear, intercepted by Britton. Tried to get it all the way across the field to Dumont. Sniffed out by the Santa Barbara Gauchos.
Back-to-back possessions, back-to-back, just very lazy turnovers by the Bears in a critical situation. You got less than 7 minutes left in this game now, making it very hard on yourself for no reason there.
Adjacent pass made there. Ward through X. Ball now up with Dwelly. Dwelly marked by Endicott. Draws the shorty matchup now. Endicott gets the switch. Cockler coming in from the midline. He's got Dumont on him. Initially, we thought Dumont maybe an offensive midfielder stuck on D, but it looks like he's electing to stay on, choosing to stay on. Now he's got a heavy task right here as Dumont's going to match up with Menendez. Menendez rolls back high, left hand missing wide. Shot backed up by the Gauchos. Bringing the ball in is Chesney. Great check arrival from Pavlet. Dislodges the ball. He just slid right off that pick, right? That's what you hedge a pick. Sometimes you're going to hedge and go. That time Pavlet, decisive, able to surprise Chesney maybe a little bit with the fact that he switched onto him instead of working to keep matchup.
Definitely. Yeah, no, great defensive stand there by the Bears. They needed that one. Let's see if they can now make up for the past couple turnovers they've had on the offensive end here.
Jaro. Right split down the alley, marked by Cockler. Good slide there. That's Bruns. Burke now from behind. Burke throws it right into the stick of Danziger. Danziger having himself a great game here, especially recently. And a ground ball is the cherry on top for that possession. Jonah Danziger, grad student from Portland, Oregon. WCLL second team defender, playing quite well right now against Burke. Just another tough turnover for the Bears there.
3 straight possessions, 3 straight turnovers.
3 possessions, 3 turnovers. And just looking at the clock there, all of a sudden 4 minutes remaining in a 2-goal ball game here with an AQ on the line. Cockler dodges from X, feeds up top. Menendez now. Menendez rolling back, trying to use the pick game. Good work from Scott there to disrupt the shot. Menendez and Cockler working together.
You just get the feeling here that the Bears defense needs to hold this possession. They just can't afford to give away another goal here if they want to stay in this one.
Udolph marked by Pavlet, all the way up top. Big rip there. Grady Ward. Good skip pass from Udolph, made it through to Ward.
One's going to cover Ward.
Yeah, Ward now unmarked, has his man hung up. Goes back to his right, draws the slide, open in the middle. Shot misses wide. Corralling the ball is Dwelly. Dwelly drawing 2. Still has the ball. Not anymore, as coming out with it is Yamada. Yamada, good dump to space. Weeb there to clean it up. And the Bears with a much-needed stop here with 3 minutes remaining.
Bears able to clear here. They need a possession, and they need a good look here. Coach Webster's going to call a timeout and get his guys on the same page with this one.
I think that's a great timeout by Coach Webster. You've got 2. He's yet to use 1 this half. You don't get to take him home with you. So a smart timeout there, as you mentioned, to get everyone on the same page in what feels like a must-have possession.
Yeah, I think here, you definitely want a goal, obviously, if you're the Bears. I think one of the things that really plays to your advantage a lot is that you've got Hale Brown, so you don't necessarily have to worry so much about a 50-50 ground ball after a goal. You can hopefully depend on him to earn you possession in this critical part of the game. So just got to focus 1 goal at a time, obviously. That 2-point play in college lacrosse, and so that it's going to be important just to execute on this one here. 3 straight turnovers on the last 3 possessions. Got to turn that around here. Erase what's happened before. You need a good possession here, and you need a good look here.
Yep. 65 seconds on the shot clock. Effectively treated as a full shot clock. Those first 15, you're hardly using anyways. Usually that's in your clear game, right? So all the time to work with for the Bears, even though it does feel like crunch time. They're going to use this shot clock here. They're going to generate not the first look, but the best look. The way their offense has been rolling, I think they like to dodge the alleys. They like to throw it back, skip across the top. And so look for them to at least start with that, and then maybe they move the ball 1 or 2 times more there, jamming in on the crease. They've been able to get looks all game. We've been saying it. The looks are there. They've hit a few pipes. Shot location maybe hasn't been perfect. Schwab's been pretty tough inside in the net there. But if you're going to convert, now is the time. Game on the line, season on the line. Still 3 minutes to go, but you'd love to get this one.
Ball will start.
Burke's got it.
Yeah. Bottom left-hand side of the field here.
Jaro.
They've
How about
elected
this?
to
Dumont
pull
with the
Dumont
pull,
here.
yeah.
Interesting. Jaro, it looks like, will maybe initiate against Bruns.
Burke now looking to make up for maybe some of his turnovers. Jaro up the hash, his right hand. Good slide. Better shot.
Wow.
Jaro puts it high. Big time goal for the Bears. Jaro, his first of the day. Just really snuck that one in there. I saw that slide coming, and I held my breath. I thought he was going to get his clock cleaned. Instead, we're sitting here talking about how great of a shot it is. Good inside roll. That slide is there, and just you really can't place it. Just right on top of the goalie's head there. Tough to save.
Yeah, I think Jaro probably almost predetermined that he was going to take that one and shoot it once he saw that he had, for one of the first times today, not the pole on him.
All right, so. Hale Brown. Face-off violation against the Gauchos, feeling the pressure of 55 in gold. Maybe jumping the whistle, trying to get any advantage they can against that dominant face-off man.
The Bears now have an opportunity to tie it up for the first time since it was 0-0.
Jaro to Fredericks. Good job getting a stick on that pass by McGrath. Burke able to come up with it. Back up to Bear. Dumont still with the pull, so let's go ahead and have Bear dodge Britton. Bear stood up by Britton. Good pop right there. Over to Dumont. Good handle to save it.
Jaro here against Bruns. He's got to like this one.
Jaro sweeps back to his left. Skip across Dumont. Hitch inside Fredericks. Fredericks right into the cross of Schwab. Looking to clean up the garbage was Ois. He ends up on his back in the crease. Great hit, clearing crease from the Gauchos, and it is Gaucho ball. Minute and a half to go. They cannot kill the clock.
They can get close, though, and I think that's what they will definitely try and do here.
That was a big-time ground ball play there. I wish I saw who made the hit on Ois. Ois was looking to get sneaky garbage goal. Ball is on the ground here. Cal needs to come up with it. Dumont has possession, swarmed by the Gauchos, still with it, calling, I believe, for a timeout himself to secure possession.
Smart timeout there by Dumont.
I don't know. Webster's body language disagrees. Did they have a timeout? As the officials discuss, Coach Webster took a look at the sky for a second there. I think he understands the situation as Dumont, it was hounded by Gauchos. However, it's going to be Santa Barbara ball on just that infraction there. I don't know that Berkeley had 2 timeouts after, obviously they called the one recently. I don't know that they had one remaining.
What started as a smart timeout became a not so smart timeout. Gaucho is able to get the ball back here.
Little Chris Webber action there. Fab 5. There's something about yellow jerseys with blue numbers. As Santa Barbara now with the ball, and they are able to
Goalie
just run the clock out. Cochler with it. Pavlet coming. He wants Yamada to come and double team with him. They're going to get it. Let's see if he can maintain or contain him. That's not going to do it. Cochler inside Menendez finishes, and that's going to probably seal the game for the Gauchos. Unless Hale Brown can win this one clean to himself and generate a quick look, the Gauchos are looking at airline fares to Texas.
Gauchos obviously recognizing that Cody Weeb went out of the goal and that they were trying to double team the ball. Cochler able to break that double team and find Menendez, and yeah, that might be all she wrote.
Yeah, and those doubles are so challenging. It seems like it should be simpler, right? 2 against 1. But against an athlete like Cochler, he just breaks contain on Pavlet. Here goes Brown. Brown has to go. Okay, so they did have a timeout. A player maybe cannot call for a timeout. Maybe that was the call earlier.
I think maybe you also have to be on your side of your offensive side of the 50-yard line.
That is accurate. Thank you, Josh.
Reminder that the winner of today's
Tough break for the Bears. Just when you thought things were going your way, gaining possession in the defensive end, in the comfortable. You're happy with Dumont with the ball in his stick. Gaucho swarmed him. He calls for a timeout, but as you mentioned, you must be on your offensive end to call a timeout. And so that rewarded the ball back to the Gauchos, who took advantage, putting the ball in the back of the net to go up 2 here with 15 seconds remaining.
Absolutely. And yeah, not to microanalyze, right? Obviously, there are many possessions and many opportunities that this game could have been won. But you look at the Bears' offensive possessions dating back to probably about 6 minutes left in this quarter, and basically you got turnover. That last one, you did generate a quality look with Fredericks, and it was saved by Schwab. But those 3 turnovers right in crunch time, right? 6 minutes and less. You turn the ball over 3 times on offense, give up a couple goals there. It turns what was a 1-goal game into now a 2-goal lead for the Gauchos, and Bears may not be able to catch up at this point.
15 seconds remaining. You need a quick look. You can score off of the faceoff in about 5 to 6 seconds. So you got maybe 10 if you're lucky. Shot rings off the pipe. 10 seconds left. Dumont trying to will his team back into it with that dodge. Burke looking to get a wraparound, taking a lot of time, skipping through, doesn't connect with Bear. That is going to do it. Santa Barbara repeats as WCLL champions. After celebrating on this field 1 year ago, they get to do it again, defeating the same opponent in your California Golden Bears. So a hard-fought game Santa Barbara was the 1 seed. They were the higher ranked team, but this game was a game between two very, very competitive and similarly skilled teams. Santa Barbara had a couple breaks go their way that Berkeley did not.
Yeah, again, said at the beginning, offense wins games, defense wins championships. Santa Barbara's defense really stepped up there. Those 3 turnovers on the critical possessions that the Bears had, you got to give credit to the defense and their ability to turn those into transition, and that, I think, was one of the key pivotal aspects of this game, being able to lock down the Bears when it mattered most.
Yep, and the fans here in Los Gatos breaking out into your typical Santa Barbara ole 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 cheers. They're having a great time. The boys are having a great time. They're going to, of course, respectfully congratulate the Bears on a well-fought game, and then we're going to have a trophy presentation from our WCLL president, Mike Gillespie, on this near sideline. So until then, let's discuss a little bit, right? We've got some awards to give out, a tournament MVP, not just a game MVP. So let's look at an entire body of work. I have, Schwab, goalies are always a good person to talk about. I think Schwab was good. He had 12 saves today. I don't know if that's enough to get him MVP with some of the output from the Santa Barbara offensive players. The big names, we'll read them off here. Yesterday, Udolph had 5 and 4. Today, only 1 goal. 10 goals or 10 points still in 2 games. Not shabby. Next up for the Gauchos, maybe you're thinking about Ethan Chesney, freshman, 6 and 2 yesterday. Also 2 and 1 today. Chesney's got he's got an argument for it. And then Cochler all over the field today. 4 and 2 yesterday. That's 6 points. 2 and 4 today. That's another 6 points. 6 and 6 is 12. 12 points on the weekend for Cochler. And then the other number we're talking about is Menendez. Menendez held in check yesterday. I only have him down for 1 goal today. 3 and 2. So thinking about those numbers, Josh, who stands out to you?
Numbers aside, right? I think out of all of those guys, they all had huge impacts on this game. I will say the guy that jumped out to me most was Cochler. He seemed to generate a lot of opportunities for himself and for his teammates. You can see that in the point totals. And then also today, and I noticed some plays defensively. He had that huge transition play where he got the ball on the ground, moved it all the way up, and it was a huge pivotal moment getting the ball to Menendez for that finish. And so I think, just in terms of situations and being that guy when the moment calls for it, I think Cochler is the one in my mind who is very deserving of this MVP.
Cochler certainly was that guy today. Only, one of a few guys for this Gaucho squad who will continue on their season, earning themselves an automatic qualifier to Round Rock, Texas for the MCLA tournament. Santa Barbara came into this weekend ranked number 7. They now own another top 15 win as Cal was ranked 14. So, they're in the tournament. Now the conversation is about seeding, and we'll see how some of these other conference championships break down. But Santa Barbara has to be looking at a pretty high seed, definitely a single digit, potentially a top 5, again, depending how things shake out. I think in the ALC there was a bit of an upset there between Liberty and Virginia Tech. We'll see how that's determined or graded by the committee. And then, of course, if we're talking about the committee, we got to talk about the Golden Bears. They had a strong win yesterday against a top 25 opponent in Cal Poly. That'll add to their resume. And as far as quality losses go, we had this conversation yesterday. Cal seems to have a few of them. Count this as one. Count their Santa Barbara loss earlier the year as one. 1 goal loss to Chapman. A close game with Texas, who's highly ranked. And then also, I think their flagship win this year was their win over then number 1 ranked Georgia Tech. I haven't necessarily tracked how Tech has done since then, but they, Cal is the biggest Georgia Tech fans in the world at the moment if they are still playing, hoping that the Rambling Wreck are making some noise. And so we will see. Decisions will be made tonight. These teams will find out the tournament bracket, and they will travel to Texas next weekend to battle it out for the national title.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Chris. And Santa Barbara, well-earned, punched their ticket to this Round Rock MCLA National Championship Tournament. The Bears, like you mentioned, will have to wait with bated breath committee meets tonight and decides the final teams tonight. We'll see if they feel like the Bears have done enough, playing the Santa Barbara team very close, obviously, and then beating Cal Poly to...
We'll turn it over to the field, to the PA system. President Mike Gillespie with the trophy presentation.
Chris Nespor and all the volunteers who helped make this happen this weekend. It was amazing. Beautiful weather, everything. Also, I'd like to recognize Cal. Let's hear it for the Cal lacrosse team. They had a great season. Hard-fought championship game. And they can hold their heads up with how they played. So as we're giving the awards, we have a most valuable player. This player scored at least 6 goals yesterday, 2 assists, 2 more today for 10 over 2 days. Connor Udoff. We also have a stick for Connor from Eagle Lacrosse for you, just for you. So congratulations. And now the trophy. Back-to-back champions in the WCLL Division I, Mike Allen and the UCSB Gauchos. Congratulations.